Yes, good morning, students. Again, today I am here with Soup in Bohemia. This story, it is a little bit longer one, and we will be doing the third part. In the third part, we will be starting with the first paragraph. Okay. Now, in the previous one, we had seen that the stone soup was been prepared by the soldier, and he was just befooling the old villagers. They were very astonished. Let us move on. All right then, said the soldier, stirring the pot with a wooden spoon. Okay, don't upset yourselves. It is just a little prehistorical recipe. I picked it up in foreign, presented to me by a saint. In gratitude for my having saved his life when threatened by wild elephants, these two stones have the power to brew for me the most delicious, the most mouth-watering soup that ever a man tasted. Now he was making a just what you can say, he was just making aware of the stone soups which he had, and he was making the stone soup. He told that he was just stirring it with a wooden spoon, and he said that it was a prehistorical one and it has been presented to him by a saint when he just rescued him from the wild elephants. Now he says that these stones have a very effective what you can say is they are very effective in making the soup, which is very tastier and no one had ever tasted it. Now, stone soup from China. Ach! And taking a little of water in his spoon, he sipped it with relish. Mum, coming along very nicely, said he, while the peasants watched in baffled silence. There were not a murmuring, hissing, or any type of sound over there. Just they were silent. And he just tasted a little bit of the water from the cauldron and said, "Yummy! It is very nice, coming up nicely." Now, this is the very same soup that Alexander drank the night before he stormed the pyramid. Stone soup from China. The soup for heroes. You all look friendly lot of people. I like your faces. Suppose I make a bit extra for you. The cauldron is big enough for us all to have a bowl full. Now he was just trying to mesmerize them. Okay, remember students, this is a story in which the soldier was fooling the villagers, and just as he cooked, he saw that the villagers were not moving back to their houses, so he offered that I could make a great deal as my utensil, my cauldron is very big enough so that we all can have it in a very good manner. Now, but in between, he was hesitating and saying, like that all things. Now, for what? Just to show that he was very eager to feed them. So he was making all those noises. The citizens were taken aback. "Are you trying to tell me," said the burgomaster severely, "that all you need to make your soup is just those two stones and a pot full of water?" Now the burgomaster was mesmerized and he asked that would the two stones and a pot full of water make the soup? "That's all, sir," replied the soldier, "nothing more nor less. Tell you what, stone soup is even better, even more breathtakingly wonderful, with just a pinch of garlic or of a carrot brings out the flavor. You know, cauliflower is the next best thing. Anybody got a bit of green stuff to throw in now, while I make sure the stones are fermenting properly?" Now, listen students, you can see over here the trick he is playing. He says that definitely these two things, the stone and water, is enough for the soup to be made. But if you throw out some of the more stuffs, some vegetables from your side, it will be more delicious. See the cunningness of him. Now moving ahead, the peasants looked at each other sheepishly and suspiciously. Nobody wanted to move first. Nobody wanted to admit his curiosity. Nobody wanted to make a fool of himself. But suddenly a common impulse overcame them all. Okay, now as they had first of all told the soldier that they won't help him. No one was in a mood to take the first step, but in a little time a great impulse came them all. Now what they did, they said just a piece or two, just a piece or two could not do any harm. A handful of peas, a pair of tomatoes. Now they were recalling that a handful of things they can give to the soldier to make his soup more good. Stone soup, after all, was something new in their lives, and they might as well make the most of it. One by one, they slipped away and came back with the contributions. Splash went half a turnip, in went a potato, in went cabbage and onions and peas, until the brew was marvelously thick and fragrant, and you could not see those two stones for the bubble and richness of it. Now the soldiers went to their home and brought the stuffs and threw it in the stone soup, and at last the vegetables, when they were cooked, it gave a splendid and a marvelous smell. It was too good, and the soldier, what did he say? Splendid, said the soldier. How? What a dinner we are going to have, one and all of us, in this benevolent and hospitable village. Now you can see, at first the village was not at all good, not friendly, but now he says that it was a hospitable village. It is not every night of the week that you have stone soup in Bohemia. Now he says that, did you have stone soup in Bohemia any time earlier, Mr. Burgomaster, sir? And thus carrying them along with a joke for an old woman, a dig at a portly merchant, a little flattery for the burgomaster, and a flood of anecdotes. The soldier had all the citizens sitting around him, wondering and expectant, until at last the soup was ready. He was making a fool of them, and he had every trick of his. Now, so he started making stories to them, and at last the soup was ready. Its nourishing vapors were wafting around the square. They were all mesmerized with the smell of that. A pile of balls had appeared, and they all sat on the paving stones, the soldier in the middle sipping the stuff with infinite satisfaction. The soup was totally marvelous in its taste, as all the vegetables were making it richer, but the innocent villagers were in a what you can say, they were in a wondering that the stone had made the soup so delicious. Now, exquisite, said the burgomaster, who prided himself on knowing about the food. Magnificent, said the portly merchant, who was very fond of eating. Real tasty, I must say, observed the woman with the wart on the nose. On the top of great wall, did you say? Asked one youth with his mouth full. Alexander the Great, do you mean? Queried another. Now these are all the replies. These are all the excitement of the villagers when they had tasted the stone soup. Stone soup, said the last of them, all talking at once. What a miracle, what a marvelous gift from China. So they were praising China too. And the soldier chuckled to himself as he had his soup comfortably. Now the soldier was very grateful, he was very delighted, and he was super satisfied on his work, and he was having the soup satisfactorily sitting at the middle of the villager. Hope you enjoyed this story, students. Meet you in the next video with the question answers. Thank you.